Hey Bethel family, welcome to the first of our series of Mask or Peace Theater. As Pastor Aaron said in the last video, we're done with all the doom and the gloom. Now our health is a big issue. We realize that and we're not saying it's not. But while we navigate through this, why can't we laugh along the way as we go through this very, very difficult time together as a body? Our goal is this. We want to eagerly maintain the unity of the Spirit and the bonds of peace. We're going to hear that phrase repeated over and over as we see it in Ephesians 4, and we're going to look at that in this video series. We are going to maintain the unity while discussing some topics that may seem a little controversial to some. We are not trying to convince people to think the same thing. In fact, through this series, we may see that the elders have disagreements on certain topics and may never come to complete agreement on certain issues. But we maintain unity together, and our respect and our love for each other has grown through that and not decreased. It is to my shame that I'm going to introduce you to my alter ego. His name is Professor James Pretentious. Now make no mistake, he thinks he is more important than he really is. He is not really a professor, and between you and me, he hates being called by his nickname, which is PP. I'm looking forward to it. Welcome to Masterpiece Theater. I am your host, Professor James Pretentious. We will be spending our time talking about the dark, deep secrets of the church and how our culture is trying to turn our children into zombies. Trust me, you don't want to miss a single episode. If you do, you might not know of all the things that you need to be afraid of. Now, I admit that this week's episode is rather a bore. We are going to be talking about how we are going to reopen church. And to help with our discussion, I have brought in a high-tech demonstration device that we see here. Now let me start by saying, September 13th, starting at 10:30, you do not want to miss. We encourage people to show up early as seating is limited. But we will find space for everybody, even if you are late. This is how it's going to work. Now keep in mind, we are making this as complicated as we possibly can. Why? Because this is fun. Here is a complex diagram of our sanctuary. We see our stage up here at the top. We see pews over here and pews over here. This is where all the parents of young children usually sit because it is closest to the nursery. This is where other people sit that want to make a quick escape out this exit. And these two are reserved for people who have been coming to this church for more than 50 years. We are going to divide the church in half. We are going to cut it down the center. But we are dividing for the sake of unity. Yes, I know that seems weird, but that's because you're not a professor. If you were a professor, you would understand that that makes perfect sense. So we're going to divide the church, and we're going to be unified in it. Over to our left is going to be the section where you could wear a mask, or you don't have to wear a mask, whatever you prefer. If you are more comfortable around people wearing masks, then enter into the right. The right section is going to be reserved for people wearing masks. Now, if you are those people that said, I will do one or the other, that it didn't matter to you, you just wanted to go to church with your fellow brothers and sisters, let me ask you to consider bringing your mask and sitting in the mask-only zone. It is important for us to fellowship with this side as well as this side, because after all, we are one church. If you are over in the mask-only zone, important things to consider. We need you to keep your mask on at all times, even while you're singing. If you're over on the left, do whatever you want. You can wear a mask if you feel more comfortable. If you don't want to wear a mask, you don't have to wear a mask. But I ask you this, do not cross this barrier. People on the left must stay on the left, and people on the right must stay on the right. Trust me, I'm a professor. Now make no mistake, I'm not kidding. At least about the separation. We need to take this seriously. But I don't want anybody laughing. So if you are over here, keep your mask on. If you are over here, do whatever you want. I know this is hard to remember. I know it's complicated, but we will get through this. Now, if you are over here and you feel more comfortable entering and or exiting from this exit up here, feel free. We will try to keep that door open. We want fresh air. The sun is good. Fresh air is good for us. We encourage people to breathe fresh air. Now, for those of you who still don't feel comfortable to join us in person and will be watching us over the internet, we love you. We miss you. We want to regain fellowship with you. If there is anything that we can do to help you feel comfortable in fellowship with us, please let us know. If there is nothing that we can do, please still reach out. We want to hear from you. We want to know if we can be praying for you. We enjoy you. We need to regain fellowship. We need to do everything we can to fight for the unity of the body. Just because we are live streaming and we put video content together, it does not mean we can neglect fellowship. We need to all be here. We will get back to here, but we all need to be here. If you are at home because it is more comfortable and you don't want to change out of your jammies, you can wear slippers in church. But we want to see you here. Now this has been an episode, the first episode of Mask or Peace Theater. I am your host, Professor James Pretentious. Thank you for watching and have an awesome day.